Hi everyone, welcome to your yoga class today. As part of the Breathing Through Anxiety series, we will be moving through a short but sweet practice that I hope will anchor you more deeply to your breath, fill you with a sense of hope, but also provide a foundation of deep calm and relaxation. So for today's practice, you may want to add some props in. So a block, perhaps. I'm sitting on one right now. Maybe one or two blankets. Even if you don't have those things, you can also use a pillow. If you're fortunate enough to have a bolster, that can also be quite lovely as well. And anything else? Just your breath and yourself, that's it. And a desire to move, breathe, and be. So for today, we will start in a seated position. I'd like to begin with a very short breathing meditation, just to kind of anchor you into your breath a little bit more. To set that up, what I'm asking of you is to consider an intention for your practice today, one that is aligned with perhaps a vision that you have for your day or a vision that you have for your night. And by vision, I mean what you want, a desire. Maybe today it's simply, I want to be present to my breath or present for my breath, or I want to be present, and that's it. So just consider maybe the waves of what you have been experiencing up until this point, and I invite you to root down into an intention that will really serve you and make you feel nourished. And so I'll give you maybe a couple of moments just to figure that out, and consider as you're doing it how you would like to feel as we move through this practice. And as you move through your day, or whatever time you're doing this session, how you want to feel after it. So, once you have your intention, I invite you to close your eyes. And of course, if that doesn't feel safe, then maybe just kind of just turn your lids down a little bit so you can see light or the atmosphere around you. You just don't want to let too much in. I'd like you to get as internally focused as possible. And then what we will journey into is this counted breath aspect. So for the next 2 minutes, and I will time this, your goal is to get to 10 breaths, 10 uninterrupted breaths. So if you notice a lot of times when maybe as you're practicing, you're breathing, and then all of a sudden your mind jumps to something else, like, oh my gosh, I have something due, my exam is tomorrow, or, something random just pops up into your head and you kind of fall out of the practice. Or you kind of move through the practice and can't even remember what some of the postures were because you were busy with the monkey mind in your brain. All of those things are okay. That's why we practice, to learn how to navigate that experience. So for right now, finding a comfortable position, closing your eyes or just kind of dimming your lids. And all I'm asking for you is to get to 10 breaths by the time I say time. And if you don't get to 10 breaths, that's okay. But here's the trick, or the disclaimer. If you have a thought, let's say you're breathing, you take an inhale and you exhale and you count it as 1. If a thought jumps in and takes you away from your breath and away from your count, you have to start again. That's the whole thing about it. It just lends us an opportunity to see where we allow or how we allow our thoughts to distract us without judgment. It's just purely for observation, and also an opportunity to really make our breath a priority. So, come into a comfortable seated position. Place your intention anywhere in the body that feels aligned, at home, and for you. And then we will begin. And time. If you can keep your eyes closed as you slowly return your presence to the atmosphere in the room. If you were able to get to one breath, that's great. If you were able to get to 3 or 5 breaths, that's great as well. If you were able to get to 10, wonderful. The point is to just breathe. So, taking in the essence of that practice and then melding it with your intention, let's make our way onto our backs. Now, I like to be comfy, so I'm going to place a little bit of extra added comfort. And so once you come onto the earth, connect back to that rhythm. My hope is that through that meditation, you found a natural rhythm to your breath. Maybe you were able to slow your heart rate down or slow the quickening of the breath. As we move through the next series of movements, stay linked to the way that your body feels as you breathe and as you move. Keep your left knee bent and then just let your right knee fall towards the earth. And then straighten the right leg out. And then just make a half semicircle. And then rebend the knee. And again, you'll let the right knee fall out. Straighten the leg, maybe take the leg further away from the mat. Drag the leg back in. So essentially you're making either a half semicircle, or if you've got a wide enough kick, so to speak, you'll make a full circle, or maybe it's 3/4 of a circle. So today, maybe doing 3 or 4, and remember, you can return to this exercise at any time. It's a great way, to start your day, just to get the hips ready and primed for walking. Walking is a form of movement. And so when you finish that last one, keep your right knee bent and then bring the action over to the left side. Let the left knee fall, straighten out the leg, and then just draw a circle in. Hopefully, as you do this, of course, you're listening to my voice, but you are breathing. And again, 3 or 4 on this side. And of course, the beauty of doing a recorded class is that if there's something that you really like, you can always press pause. And if you have the time, do it for as long as your body feels like it needs it. Okay. So we finished both right and left leg. Walk your heels in just a little bit. Okay. And for now, I'd like you to use your breath as we guide our arms up and back. So the inhale reaches the arms towards the ceiling, and the exhale takes the arms back. And essentially from here, you're in complete shoulder flexion. Just try and make sure that your ribs don't flare up to the ceiling. We'll give ourselves plenty of time to experience that type of back movement. Just trying to move this over. And then you'll inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, arms lower. Pause. I'm going to take that again just because that thing. And I'll just bring this over here. Hopefully they're not like, why did that all of a sudden make its way over? Okay. To begin, we'll inhale, send the arms towards the ceiling. Exhale, arms reach back. So we have an opportunity to prime our shoulders for movement, and also to connect movement with breath. As we return back to the original spot, breathe in, arms reach towards sky. Breathe out, arms come by the hips. So breaking it down, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, breathe in and breathe out. Now we are about to merge our hips and our spine to lift up and down simultaneously with the arms. So now that you've got that under your belt, we're going to make it one breath. So inhale, arms reach up and back. Exhale, arms reach up and down. And I'd like you to really stretch out the inhale and the exhale. So I'm doing it just a little bit faster than I'd like you to, just purely to instruct you. So one more time like this. You're breathing in. And breathing out. Now we add in, or rather focus just on the hips and the spine. So leave the arms out of it. And as you push into the feet, inhale, slowly lift the hips
and the spine off the earth, or as much as you can, taking it probably just to the tips of the shoulder blades. And then exhale. Really try and paste each vertebra down onto the ground. 2 times like this. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now let's add in the arms. Breathe in. Everything moves. Arms reach up and back. And exhale. Again, breathe in. And breathe out. Last time. Inhale. Hold this here. Don't move. Don't exhale the breath out. Just hold everything for 3, 2, 1. And now exhale it out as everything lowers down. Rest. And when you feel guided to, roll over onto your right side. Come into what is known as a fetal position. Push into your left hand and slowly come up. Make your way into tabletop. Of course, I always like to offer that if anybody feels that, child's pose is what they need before they move, maybe taking that for a couple of breaths. Otherwise, propping yourself up and just circling the chest around. So what we're trying to do is take the right side of the chest towards the left shoulder, and then the center of the chest forward, and then left side of the chest towards the right shoulder, and then driving it back. So you are constantly just making a circle with the chest. And reverse. This is a great way just to get, like I said, movement in the upper back, but also in the wrists, because you keep transferring weight. Okay. Now, from here, taking any version of plank that feels the best for you, whether or not you want to be on your knees, or if you curl your toes under and take your knees off the mat, entirely up to you. If today's focus is a gentle practice, then keep your knees on the ground. And simply just holding this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Curl toes under, launch the hips back and up as you come into downward dog. Now, maybe the body doesn't feel like downward dog just yet. So, of course, you can return back to your plank. But for the purpose of this practice, if you notice, I'm not making my downward dog too wide, and I'm actually putting a little bit of a bend in my knees. So this is more like a puppy dog, right? Or a baby dog. So really just trying to lengthen through the spine, find some space in the back of the neck. If it starts to feel as though you're putting too much pressure in the wrists, of course, you can take a break. Or if you want to revert some of that weight back into the feet, then you can take the full downward dog. But of course, it's whatever works for you. And truthfully, we're not going to be here too long. So take a moment here, breathe in. And as you exhale, slowly begin to tiptoe your feet to your hands. Heel toe your feet apart, and then just collapse a little bit over the legs, breathing into the stretch in the backs of your thighs. So getting into the hamstrings, breathing into the back body. We send so much of our breath into our bellies and our chests, and we forget about the magnitude of the muscles that are in the back of the body that do most of your breathing. That's where you'll find your respiratory muscles. I will count you down slowly from 8, and I ask that you take your time in curling up to stand. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. As you come to stand and find your way at the top of the mat, come back to your intention. And let's sprinkle something on top of your intention. Today's mantra is, my breath is my anchor to peace. My breath is my anchor to peace. And allowing that understanding to flood your nervous system, to flood your body, recognizing that anytime there's a flux in, your breath or your peace or feeling a little bit frustrated, you can always come back to your breath, anchor into your intention, and maybe even if it's just 1%, you find that breath, you find that peace. Root down through the soles of your feet. Your foundation is your peace. Take a breath in, arms reach up. Exhale, just a soft dive down over the legs, hinging at the hips. Inhale, come to a flat back. Maybe perch your fingertips on the shins, earth, or your thighs. Exhale, fold. Touch the earth with your hands, maybe bend the knees enough, and then just step your left foot back. Take your left hand and bring it a little bit closer towards your right foot. This is where I would say if you have a block, you can use it, if that will help a little bit. And then take your right hand and just put it in the crease of your hip and drag the hip back a little bit. Inhale, send the heart forward. Exhale, rotate your torso towards the right leg. And then if you'd like, right arm can reach up. Option to drop the left knee to the ground if that feels a little bit better for you. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, right hand comes to the earth. Pick the back knee up off the ground, and then just bring a slight bend through that left knee. Inhale, spring it forward to meet your right. Exhale, pause. As you shift the weight into the left foot now, launch your right foot to the back of your mat, maybe staying on the tippy toes, or maybe at this moment you decide, I'd like to drop my knee to the ground. Prep your right hand by either putting it on the block, but making sure that it's close enough towards your left foot. Bring your left hand, fingertips drive into your left waist, pulling your hip back a little bit, bending into that left knee. Breathe in, aspire your heart forward, and breathe out, rotate. So just noticing today what feels a little bit tight, what feels accessible with breath, and what feels not so accessible. Take another inhale, and exhale, dive that left hand down. Maybe remove your block. This time as you push into your hands, step your left foot back, come into plank. Again, the option to drop knees to the earth, and hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower all the way down to the ground. And I'd like you to take your hands a good distance away from your mat and prop yourself up onto your fingertips. Take your feet wide apart, push down through the tops of the feet, and then as you press into the fingertips, inhale, chest lifts up towards the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lower down. We'll take that 2 more times. Breathe in, lifting up, taking most of the weight off the fingers. You're still pushing in, but do most of the work with the spine. And exhale. Don't forget to squeeze those glutes. 1 more time, inhale. And exhale, release. Rest in any fashion that serves you. And then when you're ready, place your palms just by the sides of your chest. Breathe in, push into your hands, maybe pressing up to the knees or plank. Breathe out, take it back, downward dog. 5 breaths here. And if this doesn't feel good, go right back into your plank. As you breathe in, filling the ribs with air. Exhale, anchor into your peace. Inhale, knowing that your breath nourishes you. Exhale, your breath allows what is not important to be moved or dissolved out from your body. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then 2 more breaths just on your own. So that when you feel ready, you can just come down onto the knees. Have a seat back. Keep your knees bent. Actually, no. Start with that left leg out. Cross right ankle on top. Bring your hands behind you. Bend into the left knee. Drag the heel a little bit closer towards the bum. Okay. And then just sit up a little taller. So taking that heel anywhere in towards the body that feels good. Take an inhale. And exhale, slide left foot down. Uncross right leg. Left ankle comes on top of right. And then rocking back as you slowly rebend the right knee and pull the heel in. So you're pulling the heel in to the point where you can feel the stretch on the left leg and the outer edges of your thigh. Your palms on the ground just help you find that lift so you're not rounding into the back. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, slide right foot out and uncross. Good. As we come back to the front, well, as I do, you'll bring the soles of your feet together here and sit up tall. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, just hinge from the hips. And inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, place your palms just underneath your legs. Turn around and lie down on your back. I would say for the last couple of breaths, or rather the last moments, just get yourself comfy. Okay. So once you lie back down, take your legs up towards the sky. Even if they're bent, this is absolutely fine. Reach your arms towards the ceiling as well, and just let the legs and arms get heavy. So the idea is that the legs and the arms kind of just move. Maybe they don't move. Maybe they just kind of like hang out. You're working to get them as limp as possible. So what we call it in the yoga world is you want them to move like seaweed. Seaweed arms and seaweed legs. And what this does is it gives the opportunity for the blood flow to travel back to the heart, to the brain, to the parts of the body that work so hard to funnel the fluids into the feet and the lower extremities of the body. But it also gives you an opportunity to let go. And if you find that even making these small movements that don't require a whole lot of control, if you find that that's difficult, take your time, try not to judge. But return back to your intention. And then eventually release your feet to the earth. Arms lower down as well. An option to either keep the knees together, feet apart, or slide your legs out. Please bring the index finger and your thumb together of your right hand, and the index finger and your thumb together on your left hand. What I love about this form of breath work is that it can be done anywhere. Now, if you're willing and it feels okay, I'd like you to connect with the beat of your heart. So, searching for that in the pulse of your fingertips. And if that doesn't feel good, then just abandon that direction or that cue and just keep your fingertips touching. If you find that getting a pulse here is a little bit difficult, don't worry about it. Just stay for the act of simply coming into this mudra. Now, if you can, either counting your heartbeats or just counting your breath, breathe in for a count of 5, heartbeats or just a count, and breathe out for a count of 6 heartbeats or a plain count of your breath. If you have the time, stay here for as long as you need to. But if not, see if you can hold on to this sensation and this feeling while you wiggle your toes. Maybe move your feet around, wiggle your fingertips. Move your hands around. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and pull knees into chest. Give yourself a hug. Release feet to the ground. Roll over onto your right side. And when you are intuitively guided to, press into your left hand and slowly push yourself up. Come to a seated position. Realign with your personal intention and the mantra of, my breath is my anchor to peace. May your day be peaceful. May it be guided with bliss. And may you interact with others from a loving space in your heart. Thanks for joining me today. Namaste.